Welcome everyone to the Money Counts webinar series presented to you by the Sokolov-Miller Family Financial and Life Skills Center. We are here to help you feel more comfortable, more confident, and more capable of making smart money decisions that support your financial future. I'm Melanie Schramm, and I'm an education program specialist here at the center. I am our host this semester for our bi-weekly webinars. We meet every other Tuesday to talk about important money topics and give you practical tools you can actually use in real life. Thank you for joining us today and being here for our webinar number 6 in our series on money and relationships. We often talk a lot about numbers and spreadsheets, but today's a little bit different. Today is about the people in your life, whether it be roommates, partners, friends, parents, and we'll discuss how talking about money with them can often feel incredibly awkward. This today is a topic that usually makes people want to run for the exit, myself included. Before we jump in, I do have some housekeeping things to go over. Just a quick reminder, last webinar was on March 17th. We had a special guest speaker, Jamie Kosh from Office of Student Aid. We had a great session with him on student loans. If you missed it, you can still go back and watch the recording on our YouTube page. The Office of Student Aid actually also has an upcoming webinar on Thursday, the 2nd. If you're interested in information from them on budgeting, debt, and loans. So please feel free to hop on with them on Thursday. It's at 5:30 in the evening. And of course, coming up, we're getting near to the end of the semester. We do have a few more webinars left, but on April 14th, if you're interested in what life after graduation could look like as far as finances and personal finance, mark your calendars. We will talk about how your budgeting and spending could likely change, some information on negotiating your salary, and it's important not to be too shy. We'll talk about saving for retirement, always important, and then we'll look at some credit and debt as well. I just want to give a little rundown of who we are and what we do. So the Sokolov-Miller Family Financial and Life Skills Center is your go-to resource for anything and everything personal finance at Penn State. Beyond our webinar series, we offer a variety of services designed to help you make informed decisions and strengthen your overall financial well-being. Our website is a really great place to start. So there's a QR code, and then we'll drop the link in the chat. So one of our most popular services is our one-on-one financial coaching, and we do have access so students and alumni can meet with us for free about any financial topic. We also offer public service loan forgiveness consultations for anyone, faculty, any staff, just to kind of help educate around that topic. We also present to classes, campus organizations, clubs, etc. on topics, anything and everything. We have student loans, credit cards, debt management, you name it, and we probably have it. We also have some self-paced modules and a financial wellness book collection across Penn State campuses. If you're here at University Park and you'd like to read, please feel free to stop by our office at any time. We're in the Grange building, down at the garden level. You don't have to talk to anyone. You just come in, you grab one, and you can take it, read it, return it, share it to someone else. You get to decide what you want to do with it. Also, we partner with PNC, and so they offer some great additional coaching resources for Penn State employees. They also have a webinar coming up April 23rd. April is Financial Literacy Month, so they're celebrating that with a webinar on budgeting. If you're interested, April 23rd. Alrighty, the ladder to financial wellness. Our ladder, very important. It helps us kind of see how finances work. Money and relationships is one of the topics that doesn't have its own rung. Rather, we can see it weave through every step. We use this visual here of the ladder to show how small intentional steps can build confidence and control over your financial future. Using this ladder here as a tool can really help us feel empowered, and also to know that each step is purposeful, and moving us in the right direction. As I mentioned earlier, our webinars are designed to give you the knowledge and tools to get to navigate financial challenges and opportunities and really improve your overall financial well-being. When we talk about financial well-being, it's really about security and freedom. So knowing that you're able to pay your bills, maintain an emergency fund, and still enjoy your money while staying on track towards your goals. As we get started, I just want you to take a moment to think to yourself. We're really going to start getting into the money and relationship section here, moving towards that content. So just take a minute and think, who in my life will money is or will money be a topic of conversation with through shared expenses, through planning, or any other financial decisions? You don't need to share that out in the chat or anything. Just keep that in mind as we move forward and spend time together today, just to know who it is that we'll be thinking about when going through our content and our information. My goal for our hour together here today is to focus on these key points that you can see pulled up on the screen. First of all, money isn't just math. It's really shaped both by our behaviors and our emotions. And understanding your money personality can really give you a language to explain why we make certain financial decisions. A big one here, conflict is normal, no matter what. And just knowing that disagreements about money are not a sign of bad relationships. It's really just knowing how to be able to work towards navigating them with calm communication. We can talk about looking at different systems that would fit your lifestyle, thinking about different accounts that you might have, different ways to communicate, just taking that step and finding what works for you. And this last one here, I really feel that we've talked about this a good bit with our Money Count series this semester. Just being able to embrace transparency and be able to make honest conversation and be honest with yourself about your finances. But being able to embrace this transparency really makes reaching your financial goals easier. And you'll find that being honest and transparent in any sort of relationships that involve money, and again, that's a partner, a roommate, a friend, a parent, all of those, but it can really just help to be honest and transparent. Again, money and relationships, you'll hear me say it enough. It can get messy and it is absolutely normal. We're just going to discuss today and explore how to navigate it together. This is something that I was definitely raised by. If this is true to what you grew up knowing and understanding, give me a thumbs up. We don't talk about money because it's impolite and or private. So if that's something that you were raised by, your family told you that, just send over a thumbs up. We don't talk about money because it's impolite or private. Yeah, right. And it's a challenge. Being silent about money can definitely lead towards debt, then lead to stress. When you enter into a relationship or a partnership where money has to be talked about, maybe splitting rent with a roommate or planning life with a partner, you have to learn a language that you were maybe never taught. Being able to really articulate your values helps you have open conversations and also helps you avoid misunderstandings. From my experience too, right now, like if you've been on with me on our webinars before, you've heard me say my husband and I are navigating the process of buying a home, and our money conversations are definitely not always perfect. But the strategies that I'll share and talk about today have definitely been game changers for us. Even if you aren't sharing expenses, these skills apply across contexts. With your family, your friends, your roommates, partners, current partners, future. But it's just kind of keep in the back of your mind that research shows us that money conflict is more emotional than it is logical. So it really comes down to values, that sense of security, fairness, and how that fairness can drive disagreements. It's not really always about the money or the dollars. Some of you on the call, maybe you are struggling with roommate tension, and roommate tension often ranks higher around money than chores or noise. And I know some of you might be thinking, yes, I have been annoyed with a roommate about money, but I have said nothing. We recognize that most people develop poor money attitudes in childhood long before even managing their own finances. So oftentimes the people that you're sharing money with or talking with about money don't see money the same way that you do, and they probably never have. Right. So when it comes down to it, financial stress predicts relationship tension more than income does. And the stress there is about feeling unsafe. Again, looking at those emotions. It's not about being broke. With this, I hope that you are able to take a step back today and just think about how you can use this information to navigate money management and money conversations in a smoother way with these people in your life. If you are curious about any more of that, reading more of that information that I just talked about, Arinda is going to share out some of the links from Psychology Today and Cornell, different places that talk about the stressors and the talks and conversations about money. Okay. Managing money with someone else can be a huge advantage. It's kind of like having a teammate for your goals. And it's a really great opportunity to lean on and learn from one another. For my husband and I, yes, we're saving for that house. We're trying to buy that house, but we also love to travel. So he and I we don't have anything we don't have anything planned quite yet, but we're hopefully going to get out west. Um, we love to travel to the state or the national parks and travel out there. So we're hoping to save for that. Um, yeah, in the present, sharing money can create more financial security through splitting bills, lending or borrowing money when needed, and supporting one another. And it really helps the goals feel more achievable when aligned with someone else. Oh, good. Someone said that they're saving towards retirement with someone else. Awesome. Thank you for sharing. In the future, the upside of saving money is that you can save more potentially by collectively working together towards your emergency fund or towards your long-term goals like retirement, buying a home, starting a family. The depth of financial planning depends on the relationship. So, for example, your roommate, you probably don't need to buy a life insurance policy for them, but a spouse might. Practicing money management and communication builds skills for you that continue to serve you for your life. And when you manage your money together effectively, you're really aligning your values, your goals, and vision for the future. And like I said, all of this can really be relative depending on if it's your parent, your friend, your roommate. And like I bought an insurance policy for myself and then my husband so that we're both kind of protected. For a roommate, probably don't need that. But I really do hope that you can see there are so many positives and so much good that can come out of managing with others. So I have a list, though it's not exhaustive, a few of the positives that can come from managing money, being able to understand and define your priorities when it comes to finances, monitoring them, tracking them, managing debt, reducing debt, being more financially aware, having that emergency fund solidified, and then, of course, the stress reduction as well as increased well-being that can lead to long-term success. Here we are talking about all the positives. We also have to recognize that money management with someone else isn't always sunshine and rainbows. We have to be prepared for some level of conflict. Financial stress is definitely real and it's often deeply personal. I'm sure you've seen the stats. Money is one of the top reasons for divorce and major arguments, and we wonder why, right? A few common reasons that conflict arise include fear of judgment or feeling that your needs and wants might be dismissed. You might have different points of view on when to save, when to spend, or when to invest. Different comfort levels with risk, such as maybe someone is a spender or a saver. Um, but those conflicts are very common. And then some people are very protective over their money. And so that can often lead to conflict or just a lack of communication. I know I said it already, and I'll say it again. When we argue about money, it's not just about the dollars, it's about our fears, it's about our self-worth, and it comes down to how we were raised, understanding and knowing money. Think about how you feel when someone says, we need to talk about money. You might feel stressed, anxious, even a little guilty. There are definitely negative emotions or feelings that could be associated with it. But on the flip side, money can also represent feelings of freedom, security, as well as pride. Most of us carry some money baggage from our past, and that's what can make these conversations so tricky. We all see the world through a different lens, and what makes perfect sense to you might feel like a foreign language to someone else. We're going to shift now into talking about money personalities. These are unique beliefs and habits that can shape how you handle your finances. And being able to know your money type can help you navigate these talks and some of these negative emotions and feelings about money and how you're raised around it, and see that uh, conflict is actually normal. Needing to find ways to navigate these conversations is normal. To get better at handling money conversation, it really helps to know your money personality. So we're looking at Dr. Brad Klontz, who is an expert in financial psychology, and he identifies four main types of money personalities. We have money avoidance, money worship, also known as money focus, money status, and money vigilance. So I'll go through each of these and notice what resonates most with you. You might immediately think, oh, yes, this one is me. And some of you might not be sure right away. Not one type is better than the other, and each of them has pros to it, has cons to it, and has potential pitfalls. But as I click through each of these, just see if you can pick out which one is most similar with you. So money avoidance is the I'll deal with it later type. You might feel like money is considered dirty, or just simply too stressful to look at. So you just ignore everything. You ignore the bills, the statements, the bank apps, um, whatever. And just sometimes people who fall in this category might not be aware of their financial situation. Money worship is also known as money focus. These are the people who, oh, if I just had $10,000 more, I'd be happy, right? And you, as a money worshiper, think that money solves every problem, which can often lead to overspending in order to find that happiness. Money status is where your net worth appears equal to your self-worth. You want all the brand names and you want the look of success because it makes you feel more valuable. And we have money vigilance, which is also known as the super saver. Super watchful, maybe a little secretive, and definitely have a spreadsheet, very great at saving, but maybe struggling to enjoy the money that's actually there. right? So I'm hoping that after going through each of those, you kind of have a sort of idea. We will take a quiz just to go through and work it to see where you actually are. But being able to step back, look, and find your money personality is one of the big first steps that you can take to better understand your money habits, your communication type when it comes to money and relationships, and your money personality. So we're going to go to NerdWallet and you can scan the QR code. I think it's about 8 questions. When you're working through it, don't think about what you should say or what sounds responsible. Go with your gut and answer honestly. Knowing your money personality can help you explain your choices to others. It can help you navigate differences and understand your potential triggers without feeling like you're constantly fighting your instincts. You might have a mix of the types that you'll see. Some of them might score significantly higher, some might score significantly lower. And your personality, you might recognize, could very much shift over time. Sharing out not only your money type, but maybe even this money personality quiz with friends or family or roommates could be a really great conversation starter to help you get in better alignment with your money management approaches. I want to bring up, yes, there we go. I want to bring up this slide again, just so you can look as your at your money personality and kind of have that reminder of it. I'll let you know if anybody's curious. I'm high on money vigilance. If I'm stressed out about a small purchase, it's not because I'm being difficult. It's just my brain is wired that way to protect my future. Uh, and I recognize this. I recognize those triggers. And I've been able to kind of work with that and understand how I can work towards reaching my financial goals without feeling like I'm constantly fighting my own instincts. I definitely got my money personality from my dad. He was the type of saver that would sew his socks when they have holes instead of just throwing them away and buying new. So very vigilant there. I'm not that much, but it's where I score the highest. And again, there's not one that's better than the other. They all have pros, they all have cons, and you can definitely have a sprinkling across each of them. You might not just always fall under one. My second highest is money avoidance, right? And just know that it can change. If you want a more in-depth test, so we just did the shortened version, it was 8 questions. There is a more in-depth test through Brad Klontz' website. It will take a little bit longer, but it's not bad. And it is free, which is awesome. I encourage you to get that link from the chat and look into it because it could really give you more information and help you get to the bottom of your money personality to make some big money moves and really support your financial well-being. And feel free to share it out with anybody that you manage money with. It could really be helpful for you to figure out how can we come together on this? How can we keep our money personalities meshed and work together there? Dr. Klontz has a YouTube channel as well. If you're interested, he has a lot of videos that he posts. If you're interested in checking out his YouTube channel, he talks a lot about money. And now we're looking at understanding your money personality, how we could really kind of say it's about connecting the dots. It helps you see how your money lens shows up in your habits and in your relationships. When you know your type, it's so much easier to put your values into words. If you're clashing with a partner, if you're clashing with a roommate, it might just be that you're looking at the same situation, but it's through two different lenses. And it's often shaped by how you were raised. Knowing your personality also helps you spot your own pitfalls. So, like I said earlier, my personality leans toward money vigilance, which often causes me unnecessary stress and guilt. In my teens and 20s, I was working hourly and it really turned me into an extreme workaholic. I held multiple jobs and I just wanted to always work and make money. It was super stressful. and would keep me up at night. And those feelings of guilt are just horrible. And thankfully, as I've understood my money personality, I've been able to work myself out of that cycle. But knowing that it's my default personality does help me stay balanced and aware of my habits and of my pitfalls. With that being said, I really do encourage you to take the full money scripts test. And with that, it gives you specific tips and tricks on how your type can better work for you and understand what's actually driving your decisions. Now that we're all comfortable and understand our money personality types, the next step is to jump in and create a clear plan for conversations about money. So that can look like proactively scheduling money talks. Springing money talks on someone unexpectedly can be stressful. Being able to find a time to set up for a private, comfortable space and be proactive again, knowing that conflict will most likely occur, being able to be consistent, take in for regular check-ins, have monthly budget meetings, for example. But just being consistent can help everyone know what to expect. And we've talked a lot about how it's about the emotions behind it. It's not about the actual money. If someone's saying, "Oh, I'm so stressed out about money," you could ask yourself, well, what are the underlying feelings here? Is it fear? Is it guilt? Is it anxiety? And just knowing again that conflict will happen and that it's okay. When that conflict does happen, you can assess, is someone really at fault here, or are we just looking at different priorities? Being able to take the time and stop the conversation if you need to come back and revisit it. Uh, Many discussions need more than just one conversation. Being able to plan together, collaborate on what action steps that you could take, and researching for solutions together, and communicating calmly. It's not a fight, it's a conversation. Um, it's just an example. If a student maybe mismanages some money given by parents, who's responsible here, right? Sometimes you could look and say, oh, well, it's the student because expectations weren't realistic. Discussing it together can really help to move forward calmly and create a plan that benefits everyone and allows for more success. I giggle now, but I hated it growing up. My parents were the ones who were like, all right, everybody, let's come to the table. We're going to have a family meeting. And they would plan it out like a day or two ahead of time. Okay, tomorrow at 6 o'clock, we're all sitting down together. And by all means, it doesn't have to be like that. I'm super grateful that that was the way that I understood money as a kid and have that experience now. And I've actually brought that to my relationship with my husband. So he and I do that and we have our family meetings. It might not work for you. It might not work for everyone, but finding a system that works. With roommates, for example, it could be scheduling a house meeting, sitting down, talking about finances. Maybe you meet once a month, twice a month. You have to kind of feel it out and figure out what's best for you and everyone involved. You might say, hey, I want us to talk about money. Can we sit down sometime and schedule out so that we can do this? It does often feel like a hard step. When my husband and I first started having our family meetings, it was hard. It feels awkward. It feels uncomfortable, but it's really important to be proactive about it. And as time goes on, you can become more and more comfortable about it. Um, and then just knowing that because we might feel awkward or uncomfortable, we might just want to hurry up and get the conversation done and over with. But sometimes these talks are more of a marathon, not a sprint. We want to be sure to leave you with some practical resources and tips to help navigate money conversations with others. There are apps and websites that can help make this easier. And for example, Splitwise is an app that lets you track shared expenses and balances over time. Um, Venmo, I know a lot of us use that. Whereas Splitwise, though, kind of has that one extra added benefit where it can keep a running tally of you for who owes what, so that you're not just sending the same $20 back and forth from one Venmo to the other. So Splitwise is a nice resource. And there are other ones out there. You find what works for you. It might take a little bit to figure out. It's also a really good way to be able to step back and look and even have a conversation about it. Looking at that shared spending, you can have a clearer picture and maybe think, oh, wow, we're going out a lot for dinner. Are we really doing this? And it can help you evaluate and stick with your budget. Everything always comes back to the budget. Uh, but yeah, I hope that I really hit home with being honest about your finances is key and being open. It can feel really hard, especially if you carry shame about money, but the transparency can help you move forward. And with time, it's something that you can continue to grow, develop, become more comfortable and confident. Setting shared financial goals can also make managing money more collaborative and even more fun. I don't have listed on the screen, but I want to share another resource. Not sure if anyone has ever heard of the Gottman Institute and before, but they have a ton of resources, tools, articles that you can dig into all about money and relationships. It's a great resource if you're interested in checking out. And then I always like to point out for any students here, you have CAPS available to you as a great resource. We recognize that a lot of times students, you're finding that stress really boils down to finances. So being able to get in touch with someone at CAPS can be a really beneficial move for you. And any employees with me here today, Penn State employees, I know I have a handful. We have access to the Employee Assistance Program, or EAP, where we have counseling for staff, faculty, and this can really help you navigate financial and emotional aspects of money management by being able to talk to someone about it. As we wrap up, some final thoughts. Be as open as you can, right? It's absolutely okay to feel some shame, to feel some anxiety, because most people do. But honestly, it's the only way to move forward. Thank you so much for your time today, and I can't wait to see you all back again in 2 weeks on April 14th for our webinar on life after graduation.